All right, today's topic is Hess's law. So Hess's law says that the total enthalpy or change in H of an equation equals the sum of all the individual enthalpy changes regardless of the number of steps involved. So in other words, if you can't go from the reactants to the products in one step, if you have 3 or 4 different equations or reactions that you have to do to get from the beginning to the end to get your final products that you want. If you do the multiple problems, you're going to add those up to get your overall change in H. This will make more sense as we get into it. Couple rules. You must multiply the change in H if the equation is multiplied. So for instance, if I have like H2O breaks down into oxygen and hydrogen, if I need 2 H2Os, then I need to appropriately multiply the entire equation by 2. Also, you must make opposite if reversing the equation. This is talking about the change in H. So must make the change in H opposite. So if it's positive, you got to switch it to negative. If it's negative, you got to switch it to positive if you reverse the reaction. Okay? So our first problem, I'm going to go through problems on here with you. For the first problem, we're looking at the equation 2CO2 plus, H2O, not 2H2O, gives us C2H2 plus 5 halves of O2. And yes, I know when we talked about balancing equations, we couldn't have 5 halves, but for the purpose of Hess's law, we can end up having 5 halves of a mole of oxygen. Okay, so just bear with me. So we're going to use these 3 equations and these 3 enthalpies to figure out what the overall enthalpy is going to be for this. Okay, now if you remember your math problems where you had like 2x plus 3y equals 45 and x minus 2y equals, I don't know, 17. I'm making this up. But you had to you had to do one of 2 things. You either had to make the y's cancel or you had to make the x's cancel. And in this case, you'd have to multiply this equation by a -2 in order to add the equations together to get x to cancel. I don't know if this is even solvable, just a heads up. But you would have to take this entire equation and multiply it by -2. So that's kind of how we're going to be doing Hess's law equation. So if you kind of think back to that idea, it should make this concept easier. So I'm going to start with my 2CO2. And my equation that has CO2 in it is this one right here. But my CO2 is on the opposite side. So I need to make this my reactants. So in order to do that, I still want 2CO2. I'm going to flip my equation so that this becomes my reactant, which then means I need to turn this into a positive number instead of negative because I'm doing the reverse reaction. So my change in H is going to be the opposite. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. So 2CO2 plus 3H2O gives me C2H6 plus 7 halves O2. And this is going to have a change in enthalpy of a positive 283. Now I don't have the chance to write change in H over here because I'm running out of space, but I'm going to remember that that's a positive 283 for my change in H. So now I have my 2CO2. I'm just going to put a box around it so I know that that's what I want. H2O I'm not happy with because I need only 1 instead of 3. So let's take a look at this. I have this equation that has H2O in it. Well, I need to cancel out 2 of these. If I keep the H2O on this side, it's going to add to it. So I need to put my H2O on this side, and I need 2 of them because I need to drop it down to 1. So I'm going to multiply this equation by 2, and I'm going to reverse it. So I'm just going to put a little note here. Times 2, and I'm going to make it negative. Okay, so 71.2 times 2 is going to be 142.4, negative 142.4. Okay, so I'm going to have 2H2O, And then on this side, I'm going to have 2H2 plus. Now, if I take 2 times half, I'm going to end up with just 1 O2. Okay. Now, can I cancel anything? Absolutely. This is what I was trying to cancel to make it good. So I want to cancel out 2 of those, and I'm going to cancel out those 2 out of that. So I have 1 left. And then I'm going to put a box around it. Okay, so the other thing we can do after canceling out the H2Os to get just our single, we can look at our O2s. So we got 7 halves over here, and we have 1 here, which we could equate to 2 halves. And if we subtract 2 halves from this, then we're going to be down to 5 halves. So that's gone. And then we have our 5 halves O2 like we want. So that's done. Okay, so the only thing we have left is our top equation that we have not used yet. So we need the C2H6 to be on the left side. So we're going to take the opposite of this. We only want 1 to cancel that out. So we're going to have a 94.5 for over here. And I'm going to write down C2H6 gives us C2H2 plus 2H2. So then our H2s are going to cancel. And we need our C2H2. And then we need to get rid of that C2H6. So that cancels. So if we take everything on the left side, the 2CO2 plus the H2O, and then we have our arrow, and then we have C2H2 plus 5 halves O2, we're done. Equation, like if you wanted to, you could put a line down here and then carry down what you have left to show that it worked out. If you circle everything, that's fine too. But if you don't write this, that's fine if you box everything that you wanted. So now we just have to calculate this. So we'll have 283 plus a negative or subtract 142.4 plus 94.5 is going to give us 150.1. Okay. Is that right? Scratch that. This number did not come out right. So this should be 235.1. And that then agrees with our answer on the back of the sheet. Okay, next problem. Moving on to number 2. We're trying to get H2SO4 breaking down into SO3 and H2O. Now this one will make a difference with your solids, liquids, or gases, primarily on the H2O. So I'm going to include my solids, liquids, and gases. If you only include it on the H2O, that's fine. The reason I know that's going to make a difference is because this one has liquid to gas right here. So, starting with the H2SO4, I need this equation. So I'm going to be reversing, and that's going to make this positive. So I'm going to go H2SO4 to H2S plus 2O2. And that's going to be a positive 235.5. Then I need to get rid of this H2S. So I'm going to box around this first so that I know I need that. So I need to have H2S on that side. So I'm going to use this equation. Going to keep it the same because H2S is the same. So this is going to be a negative 207. So we're going to have H2S plus 2O2 gives me SO3. I should have lined my arrows up again. Plus H2O liquid. Okay. So now my H2S cancels. My 2O2 cancels. And I'm continuing forward. So now I've got the now I've got the SO3. So I can box that. I have H2O, but it's liquid, not gas. So now I need to come over here and I need to put my liquid on this side to cancel and my gas on the right. So I'm going to use this equation as is, which is going to be a positive 44. So I'm going to have H2O liquid to H2O gas. and that's going to be a positive 44. So this cancels with this, and then I have this in my box, and then I've got my equation set out. So 235.5 plus, oops, minus 207, or plus a negative, and then plus 44 is going to give me 72.5, which can round in order to make it the same as the answer on the back. But if you keep it this, then I know you did it. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, problem number 3. We're gonna have N2 plus O2 to give us 2NO2. Here's the equations we're using. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my N2 and start right with this problem, keep it the same as it is. So I'm gonna have N2 plus 3H2 gives me 2NH3, which is going to stay the negative 115. Now I need to, so my N2 is good. I need O2. I need to get rid of my 2NH3. So let's go ahead and use this equation because I know that I need my 2NH3 on this side. So 2NH3 plus 4H2O gives me 2NO2. Oh, that's a box. We want that one. Plus 7H2. And this one we're keeping the same, so negative 142.5. All right. And we need to get, this can cancel with this. We have 3H2 here. We have 7H2 here. So I'm going to cross this out and turn this into 4. All right, so now we're just down to our last equation that we need to use. So I need let's see here. I need to get rid of the H2Os. So I need to take 4 times this one, and I need to flip it. So 4 times 43.7, because it's going to be flipped, is going to be 174.8. So it shouldn't be negative because we're flipping it. So we're going to have 4H2O over here. And then I need 4H2 plus 4 times half is going to give me 2O2. So let's see here. We've got 4H2 is going to cancel there. Let's see. 4H2 is going to cancel here. I have 2O2. Oh, I forgot to put my 2 up here. My error. All right, so we're going to take 174.8. I'm just going to subtract these, minus 142.5 minus 115 equals a negative 82.7. And I can verify that that should be your answer. I'm going to do one more problem on the back side if you want to stick around. If you get it, great. But I'm going to go ahead and do this very bottom, number 9. All right, so here we go. We're going to start off with number 9. We've got Zn on the left. So I've got Zn plus 1/8 S8. Oh, that's like half of this side. So let's start with it. Zn plus 1/8 S8 gives us ZNS. I'm going to go ahead and box those because I know I want to keep those. And I've got negative 183.92. That one will stay exactly as is because we didn't change it. So now I've got ZNS. I need to get rid of that. So here I've got 2 ZNS. So I need to take half of this one. So 927.54 divided by 2. This needs to stay negative. I know I didn't plug the negative in, but I need to make sure I remember that. So I've got ZNS plus 3 halves O2. Make sure that you take half times everything. And then ZNO plus SO2. Now my ZNS is going to cancel. And I'm left with the rest. I need 2O2, but I can't box this yet because it's more than 2. I need to get rid of SO2. So again, we're going to take half of this one. So 0.5 times negative 196.04 equals negative 98.02. Okay, so half of this one. So SO2 plus half O2 gives me SO3. So now my SO2 can cancel. Now I've got 3/2 plus 1/2 O2. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna change this to being 2 O2, and then this one's done. Or if you kept the 3/2 and put a box around both of them, saying that adds up to the 2 O2, then you know that one's done. Okay, so now I need to get rid of either the ZNO or the SO3, and oh, my last equation has both of them. And I need them to be on this side, so I'm going to have a negative 230.32. And I'm just keeping them as is, so ZNO plus SO3 gives me ZnSO4. I need that one with a box because that's my final. I'm going to take and cancel my ZNO and my SO3. So everything left is in the equation up top, and I can calculate this out. So I've got, and these are all negative, so I'm just going to punch them in as though they're positive because it doesn't really matter as long as I put the negative on the end. Plus 98.02 plus 230.32. So I'm going to have a negative 976.03. Okay, so I'm hoping this is plenty of practice for you to get this down, and you should be able to work through the rest of the problems. So you've got 5 to do on your own.